A world without cooked food is unimaginable. Every meal, every snack, every celebration involves heat. But how did we get here? How did our earliest ancestors, living hundreds of thousands, even millions of years ago, figure out that fire wasn't just for warmth or protection? How did they know that searing meat or boiling roots would transform them, making them not just tastier, but better for survival? It's a question that cuts to the very core of what makes us human. Today, cooking is an art, a science, a multi-billion-dollar industry. From Michelin-starred restaurants to simple home kitchens, the act of applying heat to food is universal. Billions of people, every single day, rely on cooked meals for their sustenance, their pleasure, their very health. Our digestive systems, our teeth, even our social structures are all profoundly shaped by this ancient practice. It's a daily ritual we take for granted. But its origins are shrouded in deep time. So when was the world's first cooked meal, and how did anyone figure it out? Finding the answer is incredibly difficult. Fire leaves traces, but cooked food itself is ephemeral. It's eaten. It decays. Archaeologists don't find ancient plates of stew. They find ash, burnt bones, and hearths. The exact first moment remains one of humanity's great mysteries, fiercely debated by scientists. Some push the date back millions of years. Others argue it happened much later. The path to fire was not a single lightning strike discovery. It was a slow, dangerous dance. Imagine our ancestors, early hominins like Homo erectus, roaming the African savanna perhaps 2 million years ago. They were scavengers, hunters, gatherers. Their diet was raw, tough meat, fibrous plants, roots that were hard to digest. Chewing alone could take hours each day, a constant energy-draining grind. Their brains were smaller, their digestive systems massive, consuming a huge proportion of their daily energy. The raw food diet was a metabolic bottleneck. It limited how much energy they could extract and how much time they had for other activities. Then came fire. Not controlled fire at first. Lightning strikes, volcanic eruptions, brush fires were terrifying, yet fascinating natural occurrences. Our ancestors must have watched these events with a mix of fear and curiosity. They might have seen animals cooked in a natural blaze, the meat tenderized, the tough fibers softened, the flavors transformed by accident. But controlling fire, nurturing it, creating it at will, that was a monumental leap, requiring intelligence, foresight, and social cooperation. We see early evidence of controlled burning, of hearth-like features as far back as 1.5 million years ago at sites like Wonderwork Cave in South Africa. At these ancient sites, burnt animal bones appear alongside stone tools. Was the fire for warmth, for protection against predators at night, or for something else entirely? The problem was clear. Raw food offered limited energy, required immense chewing, and was often difficult to digest efficiently. Humanity needed more calories, more reliably, and more efficiently. Our evolving brains, demanding up to 20% of our daily energy budget, were a particularly hungry organ. The breakthrough wasn't an instruction manual or a sudden stroke of genius. It was empirical, a gradual repeated observation. An early hominin, perhaps cautiously investigating the aftermath of a wildfire, might have handled meat seared by the flames, noticing it was surprisingly softer, easier to chew and swallow. Perhaps a starchy root, accidentally dropped into glowing embers, emerged sweeter, its complex carbohydrates broken down, making it far more digestible and nutritious. The connection was made. Heat transforms food, making it more nourishing and pleasant to eat. The consistent, deliberate use of fire for cooking likely emerged with Homo erectus, probably somewhere in the vast time frame between 1.8 million and 400,000 years ago. This wasn't just passively benefiting from natural fires. This was the active, repeated act of applying controlled heat to food, to intentionally make it palatable and digestible. The key was the development of controlled fire itself. Once you can make fire, once you can tend a hearth, you can unlock the full potential of cooked food. Archaeological sites across Africa, Asia, and later Europe show increasing evidence of controlled fire alongside human habitation. These are not random burn piles. They are structured hearths, pits filled with ash and charcoal, indicating purpose, repeated use, and the gathering of people. And tellingly, alongside these hearths, we begin to find fossil evidence of smaller teeth, reduced jaw sizes in the hominin fossil record. Why? Because cooked food is essentially pre-digested. It requires far less mastication, less mechanical work to chew, and less digestive effort to break down once swallowed. Cooking wasn't just a culinary improvement, it was an evolutionary superpower. Suddenly, our ancestors gained access to far more energy from the same amount of food. They spent less time chewing, less energy digesting. This freed up massive metabolic resources. Where did that energy go? To the brain. The expensive tissue hypothesis suggests a trade-off. A smaller gut, a larger brain. Cooked food provided the fuel for our brains to grow, to become more complex. It allowed for smaller teeth and jaws, changing our facial structure, making us look more like modern humans. Cooking also detoxified plants, killed parasites in meat, expanding our dietary range. It created a social hub around the fire, fostering communication, cooperation, and the sharing of food. The campfire became the original community center. It led to division of labor, complex social structures. It literally made us smarter, healthier, and more social. Here's the twist. Some scientists argue that cooking didn't just allow brain growth, it might have been required. Consider our closest living relatives, chimpanzees. If they were to eat only raw food, like our early ancestors, they would need to spend over 5 hours a day just chewing to get enough calories. For a human brain, that number rockets to over 9 hours. There simply isn't enough daylight to sustain the energy demands of a large human brain on a purely raw diet. This suggests that cooking wasn't a luxury or a mere convenience. It was an absolute necessity for our brain size and cognitive abilities to evolve. Without cooking, we might never have developed the intelligence, the language, the complex societies we have today. From that first serendipitous charring of meat to today's gourmet meals, cooking reshaped humanity. It's more than just preparing food. It's the silent, continuous thread that connects us to our deepest past. Every time we light a stove or grill a meal, we are performing an act that literally made us human. It was the spark that ignited our intelligence, forged our communities, and set us on the path to becoming the world's first truly modern species.